Coucou mes chéris, aujourd'hui c'est Simran et avec moi on prépare la recette française. Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Simran. The last time we made dessert, it was peach cobbler, an English dessert. In case you missed that and our other previous episodes, you can check it out by clicking on the card above. So, weird intro, right? In case you're wondering what language it was French. And the reason we did that is because today we are going to do a French dessert. So, here we are giving you a chocolate dessert. It's called a chocolate soufflé. Soufflé translates in French as like a breath, but I personally think the dessert just takes your breath away. The first time I had French soufflé was in France in a small boulangerie, and it wasn't a chocolate soufflé, it was a cheese soufflé. But the moment I had it, it just took my breath away. I had this awestruck moment, like, the one like in Ratatouille where the pen just drops. I just had those moments and I was like, I have to make this. I need to know how to make this dessert. So the reason why we use chocolate with soufflé, where we can use other ingredients like cheese, strawberry, mango cream, but I think chocolate just adds like this deep richness to it, which no other dessert can, which no other fruit or like savory item can. So chocolate soufflé is such a mind-blowing dessert. It's so light, it's so fluffy. It's like a perfect mixture of heavy but light dessert. It's very, very few desserts hit that note, and this is one of them. Like, I guarantee. Also, it's like another baked recipe, so all the ingredients that we list do follow the measurements to the T. And it's not too many ingredients, it's your very everyday ingredients like milk, butter and eggs. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
So let's start by prepping up our bowls or ramekin. You can also use paper cups that are microwavable safe instead. Just start by greasing them with butter and then adding coarse fine brown sugar or white sugar to the bowls. As you can see, I'm rotating the bowl, like the sugar in the bowl, so that it spreads out evenly and gives a nice coating. And you can always pour out the excess sugar in the next bowl, and you have just do the same with the rest of your bowls, and your bowls are ready. This is the prep for the bowl. So moving on, we're gonna prep our dark chocolate next. I would suggest like the sweet spot is between 55% to 75% dark chocolate. This year I'm using the Amul 50% dark cocoa. I also recommend the Boneville one that has great results, or the Lint one. So moving on, the next step is to make a roux for the souffle. So the roux is a very key ingredient. We have already made roux in the first episode of the series, Gumbo. If you guys remember, hit like if you guys remember. So we're gonna do the same, but we're not gonna brown the butter. So on a pan, we go take a pan on a medium flame. We start by warming up some butter, like melting some butter, and we're not gonna let it brown. We're gonna directly add 1 tablespoon of Maida / all-purpose flour to it, and gonna start whisking it, like just making sure all the flour is incorporated in the butter. And you can see like there's no raw flour, just to make sure it's all cooked in the butter. Once it's happening, you can add half a cup of milk and again whisk them all together. It'll give you like, this is like a start of a white sauce, like a bechamel for any white sauce pasta. But instead of a savory turn, we're gonna turn it into a sweet dish. So once you add your milk, just keep on stirring it till you get this consistency, like the same consistency I talked to you about. Like, you separate it in the pan, but the sauce comes back on. So we're just gonna keep whisking it. In case you overmix it like I do, you can just add a little splash of milk again to get into the right consistency. And we're gonna pour this really hot mixture into our bowl of dark chocolate. And now we're gonna swish the dark chocolate into this to give it this creamy hot cocoa, like hot cocoa with, as you can see, we've still date not added any sugar, and unless you count the sugar that's already in the chocolates. But apart from that, we're not gonna use sugar in the batter itself. So now we're gonna mix all the chocolate. Just make sure you, like, as you can see, like, tap on all the chocolate bars. All the big pieces are nicely melted away in the chocolate sauce. So now we're gonna get some eggs cracking. So for this recipe we need basically 2 egg whites and 1 egg yolk. As you can see, we're gonna plop 1 egg yolk into our hot cocoa mixture and make sure to whisk it all in before the egg yolk curdles or like cooks in the hot cocoa. And in the other bowl we're gonna get 2 egg whites, and now we're gonna whisk them. Yeah, this is a very important step. It's also the step that tests your patience and time, but bear with me. So as you can see, the first like bubbly foamy layer of egg white mixture, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of white powder sugar to it, or caster sugar, and we're gonna do this step twice again. So in total we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of white powder sugar to our eggs, and we're gonna add them at intervals. As you can see, I did one at a time to make sure that the egg white mixture rises step by step and gets more fluffier with each added additional sugar. Almond flour is a great vegan alternative to all-purpose flour for baking all things sweet. So yeah, now we're gonna let it rest to the side, and we're now gonna go back to our hot cocoa and spice it. Yes, you heard me right. Yes, we're gonna spice it. So we're gonna start by a pinch of salt. Obviously all sweet things need a pinch of salt to just bring out the more sweetness, and a couple of vanilla essence drops. It's just to like cohesively tie the overall sweetness of the dish. And we're gonna blend it in, and here comes the secret ingredient. None other than allspice. I mean, you could also add nutmeg to this, but not cinnamon. Cinnamon, I wouldn't recommend it. It's like personal preference. I don't like it in chocolate desserts, but nutmeg or allspice gives your souffle the depth. Like, I don't know, I'm not exaggerating, it'll give you the depth, like this restaurant quality dish that you can have it at home just with this tiny bit of spice. We're just gonna go ahead and crush our 3 pods of allspice and add them, and then again mix it all well together. So we're just gonna do that gently, and to make sure that the eggs don't cook in the hot cocoa. So we're gonna whisk them very, very gently, just like how we did in peach cobbler. We're gonna do this very gently. As you can see, there's already some bubbles plopping up. That's just the build-up air that's been released a little. Once you get this light brown consistency, as you can see, your job is done. Now go get the balls that we had prepped in the very beginning, and we can start pouring our batter into them. So you can start filling the bowls up, not completely, but like just leave a little gap, like from the top of the bowl, just a little gap, and you can fill them up quite like almost to the top. And what we're gonna do is, with our hands, just gently go around the rim of the bowl to make sure it doesn't stick. With doing this step is somewhat crucial. It's to make sure that when your soufflés rise in the microwave, they don't crack, like how cakes have this crack sometimes because they didn't have enough space to let the steam out or the air out. So which is why we're just gonna rim out, just gonna gently wipe the rim of all the bowls, so that when they grow they just plop out of the bowl and like they outgrow these ramekin bowls. We're gonna preheat our oven at 120 or 130 degree Celsius, and we're gonna bake these for 10 to 11 minutes. Usually the cooking time for souffle is from 11 minutes to 15 minutes, so it's a very short window, so you have to glue your eyes into the microwave to make sure they are done. And that's it. That's how you get the perfect souffles. So that was it, guys. That was my version of a chocolate souffle, and I hope this recipe makes your Christmas even more merrier. I mean, Merry Christmas, guys. And I guarantee you this is the best Christmas dessert out there. I mean, this is decadent, creamy, chocolatey, smooth, also tastes like cake and mousse in one bite. I mean, which other dessert does this? Finally, 7 episodes of the series are out, and you can check all of them in the playlist right here. Let me know what has been your favorite recipe so far in the comment section below. Also, huge shout out for all the love and support that you guys have given so far. I mean, it's been such a blessed and fun journey, and I hope to see all of you next week, or rather next year, for our amazing finale episode. And I hope you're all excited for it. That was it. Thanks. Bye.